So we should have always the participants on, because if the participants are on, then if something happens, they will tell us sound is not there, etc. That I will do immediately. It's much easier on the computer.
Yeah.
By the way, this is not a virtual background. This is a real background. Oh, see, I can touch it. Yeah. It's a very fancy background. Look at that.
It's glorious. It's beautiful.
Yes. You have ideas of blocking people? Oh, you were not blocked. You can sit here. There's just a purse over here. Yeah. You can sit here, you won't block anybody. But why is this mic not working?
On
How was you okay over there? Yeah. What is Susan? Ah, okay. We all love the wall. The wall space in a classroom is prime real estate. Very prime. Shall we? Those who are outside, if you want to come inside, you can bring your chairs inside. Please come in. Yes. It's your own house. It's their own house. Sit, sit. If you want the wall, there is space in the back. The next retreat, you can sell the wall space. Extra.
Yeah.
Oh, JFK, wall space. Because people like to sit down, but they want wall space. Ready? Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Layam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Padarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritam Vande Bhagavad Naf Punah Ishwar Purvatmeti Viveda Vibhagine Yoga Namaha Sahana Sahadeva
Karove Yashvinarati
Gita
Om Shanti.
Namaste to all. Very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. We have the privilege of studying in a deep, immersive way for the next 3 days. A chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. In choosing this chapter, certain considerations had to be made. That one should have a sense of accomplishment of doing something line by line, verse by verse, which is a very great accomplishment. Because you can talk about it in the next potluck. I have studied the 16th chapter in its entirety. It is a great accomplishment. There are very few chapters like that, which can be done in the space of these days. And here also I'll have to kind of whip myself, because as those of you who have taken classes with me, you know that I'm notoriously like to take my own time over each and linger over each and every word, each and every word. But fortunately, so far, Bhagavan has been with me. Somehow, things get to a completion. Because really, it is the beginnings that matter. Because if the beginnings are taken care of, then everything else is also taken care of. This is how it is. So what all did we have to choose from? The shortest chapter, the 15th chapter. We could have done that. But then people would have felt hungry all the time, because it is the chapter chanted before food. That's not the reason. That's not the reason. And then there was I'll tell you the reason after we discuss what other options were there. Then there was the 9th chapter, which we could have done. The 9th chapter is a little longer than this one, but perhaps manageable. At least we could have done the salient verses. 9th chapter is an important chapter. And then, but then I didn't feel like we would have the time to go into the depth that I would have liked. And then now the 16th chapter. We could have also done the 14th chapter. That also I really thought about 14, 16, 14, 16. Then finally it settled on the 16th. There is a certain daivam. Daivam means a factor in which we are not in control. There is a factor. There is something that is out of our hands when these choices are made, because they are already there. The 14th chapter and the 16th chapter have some things in common. The 14th chapter teaches the various gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. And then the 16th chapter talks about what kinds of gunas are associated with what kinds of people. People who behave in certain ways are called asuraha, rakshasaha, pishachaha. 3 synonyms. We'll be looking into all of them. And the people who do not behave like them, we'll see the definitions, don't worry. And the people who do not behave like them are called deva, shining ones. They of the shining nature, godly, composed, not discomposed all the time, godly, feeling in charge of themselves because they are happy, contented, objective. But what are the asuras? Everything that I have said, make it object. Opposite. Then what is the opposite of objective? Subject. Content, composed, discomposed. Calm, agitated. So, non-violent, violent. Tranquil, angry. Opposite. They have nothing to do with one another. And so, this is the chapter called Daivi and Asuri Sampat. Daivi, that which is coming from the Devas. Devas means those who are godlike. Godlike, we don't even though our definitions of God may differ. But what is godlike, we all agree. Compassionate, tranquil, etc., accommodating. And then the asuras, asuric qualities, and he could have said qualities. He could have said qualities, we could have said gunas. But a strange word is used to describe this sampat. Daivi sampat, treasures, things you have acquired after a lot of effort is called sampat. Daivi sampat and asuri sampat. Sam plus pat. Pat means that which has come. Sam means after a lot of effort. Good, right effort in a way. And of course, the English translation of this chapter is what? Godly and devilish qualities. This poses a problem for a tradition where there is neither the presence of devil nor devil minus E. What is that? Evil. There is no evil, there is no devil. No devil. So the translation is wrong because we don't want to see devil as a parallel reality to Ishvara. Because then Ishvara becomes limited, finite, small. But we have our homegrown asuras. That's a better way to put it. Rakshasas, Pishachas. Who are they? They are all devotees gone wrong. Ravana, think about this. Ravana, devotee gone wrong. He was singing Samaveda in front of Lord Shiva. He was accomplished in the Veena. Only one problem, 10 heads, metaphorical heads. This is all an allegory. 10 heads means 10 kinds of thoughts, opposing thoughts coming at the same time. Not even one head can think correctly. At least if 1 out of 9 could think correctly, he would not be in the situation of abducting a woman, not only who was somebody else's wife, but also after having his own wife that looked like a doppelganger of Sita. He had a wife called Mandodari, Rajasthani lady, because even now there is a place in Rajasthan called Mandor. You can go there. That is her native place. And there is a palace where she's, which is attributed to her. It's there, and then some gardens named after her, and a little museum. All this you can see. And she looked exactly like Sita. Nobody could tell them apart. The only way to tell them apart was to look at the sole of their feet. The sole of Sita's foot had a lotus etched in it with the lines, the naturally occurring lines. And Mandodari's foot had a crow. That's the only difference. Otherwise, they were exactly alike. What possessed him? And that's the correct expression, possessed. By what forces was he possessed to do this heinous act? And what happened to him who was a devotee of Lord Shiva to come so far away. That is the subject matter of this chapter. Because if it can happen to the ancient Ravana, it can happen to the modern day one as well. Modern day one also can happen. It can happen at that time. It can happen now as well. Hiranyakashipu, again he was a bhakta until he was possessed of the thought, I need world domination. These people and world domination, these dictatorial tendencies, they become very, very alluring. Don't know why. We have to do some research on that. That could be a PhD thesis. Topic for a PhD thesis. Why asuras like world domination? That's what it is all about. World domination. Want to conquer this, want to conquer that. Some sense of insecurity. And so we don't say asuras are evil or they are the devil. We don't have that concept. They are devotees gone so wrong. Sometimes they have to be taken out by Bhagavan. And in a strange way, being taken out by Bhagavan means gaining moksha. This I was not able to digest for a very long time. Here I am leading a dharmic life. Here I am trying to hurt nobody. Here I am trying to learn from my mistakes. Here I am trying to grow spiritually. And then this stupid Rakshasa terrorizes everybody. And then what does he get in return? He is killed by Lord Rama, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, whoever. He's supposed to gain moksha. How? But then we understand the teaching behind it, which is very, very important to internalize. The teaching behind it is not that they got moksha straight away, but the arrow that pierced the heart in the case of Ravana, the nails of the fingernails that pierced the navel in the case of Hiranyakashipu is that is the teaching. When the teaching penetrates, in the case of Hiranyakashipu, the navel, which is the seat of the ego, it is called Manipura Chakra, seat of the ego, or the seat of the heart. When the teaching, the arrow is always the teaching. The piercing is the teaching. So the teaching finally went through, and that is how they gained moksha. This is how we have to see. So being an asura in the tradition is not irredeemable. But one has to grow out of the asuric tendencies. One has to grow out of the asuric tendencies. Is that a word? Now it is. And growing out of the asuric tendencies, one embraces the daivi tendencies and sattva guna pradhana one becomes. And when one becomes that, then only and only then the knowledge penetrates the heart. This is the teaching. The idea is to cultivate this. The chapter is not meant for comparison because the chapter starts with a listing of the what are called daivi qualities and what are called asuri qualities. And daivi qualities, daivi means belonging to the devas, asuri belonging to the asuras. The word asura, we have synonyms, I told you. Asura means the one who overindulges, or whose only aim in life is to be connected with sense objects and the sense, to connect one's sense organs to the sense objects is their only aim. That's all they want to do. Connect the sense organs to the sense object. Pursuit of sense objects is the only thing. And you'll see. So I don't want to give it away. It'll all be described. Glow by glow, how their daily life they lead. It's going to be described. A lot of fun. So that's their only goal in life. This is the meaning of the word asura. Asushu ramante. Asu means breathing, senses. So they only revel in the world of sense objects. These are asuras' grammatical meaning. Then we have another word, rakshasa or rakshas, sakaranta or rakshasaha, akaranta, rakshasa. Rakshasa is one from whom you need protection. The one who you see coming from there and you go and hide, worried for your life and that of your family, that is called Rakshasa. There is room inside. Come. Come. So, those are called Rakshasas. Rakshasa means the one who is what? The one who is very much. People can shift a little bit this side so that if anybody else comes, there is a little more space, spread out a bit. So Rakshasa is one who is all the time. Rakshasa is a terrorist. A terrorist is who? The one who terrorizes people from whom everybody needs protection. Rakshasa, second meaning. So you can see the various, layers of meaning. The third word I said is what? Pishacha. From pish, which has many meanings, but here pish means cruel. So pishacha, cruel. Then, if we want to know the origin of these asuras, rakshasas, pishachas, where would they have come from? They would have also come from Brahman. Because nothing is outside of Brahman. If they were outside of Brahman, they would make Brahman limited. They would be a threat to Brahman. Here, they are what? They are also, they say that Prajapati means the creator. Bhagavan in the form of the one who has created everything, Prajapati. So this Prajapati is the one who has created everything, and this creator they came from the feet of the creator. And even there are three categories. One are mild. Asuras are generally mild. You only have to worry about them when they eye what you have and they want. Okay, which is most of the time, but nonetheless. The Shastra makes these categorization. Mildly asuric. Asura means they are bad. Yeah, they are bad news, badly behaved, but they're more or less mild. And then next come the Pishachas. Pishachas are little more clever in their way of being. They're not motivated by brute force. Like, I want this, I'm going to have it. Give me that. No. What are they? They just say, oh, nice iPad. Oh, very nice. Look. There is an alien. And then you look, right there. Willful, cruel. Willfully, making sure that defrauding, just cruel for the sake of being cruel. These are the Pishachas. And then the Shastra doesn't content itself with that. It says that they have certain areas of origin also. I forget which ones. I think the Pishachas or the Rakshasas, one of these three groups originated from Sri Lanka. Okay, but I think it says Lanka. I don't know if it's the current day Sri Lanka or some other place also called Lanka. It is possible. That is what the Shastra says. So that means what? This Jagat, this whole creation, has within it elements that are savory and elements that are unsavory. If we are talking of human beings, the beings with unsavory behavior also have the free will to correct themselves. And many chances are given, not just in one lifetime, but many, 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 many lifetimes. Lots of chances and opportunities are given. When nothing works, then only it's like a condemnation, but only until the next life. And maybe the life after that. Who knows? When they get a human life again. This is the idea. So this is the general nature of asuras. And all this is going to be described. Then it says sampat. This is again very intriguing. Sampat means treasure. Daivi sampat I can understand. The qualities which are godly. That is a treasure because everybody wants them. Even the asura, you ask the fellow, would you like to be compassionate? The person will say yes. But then we'll quickly ask the question, what's in it for me? We'll say yes. So this being the situation, then why is it called asuri sampat? Unbecoming or horrible dispositions which are in the form of treasure. Because for the asuras, they have worked very, very hard to be jealous, to be upset, to be coveting of your property, to learn the skills by which to terrorize and defraud you. They have worked very, very hard. And what is gained after a lot of hard work is treasure. So they guard these qualities very, very zealously and jealously, and they guard them because that seems to be the sum total of their survival. That is how they survive. This is what they think I need. I need to be mean in order to get ahead. I need to shut you up in order to talk. I need to walk over your back in order to get what I want. When I enjoy, you should be writhing in pain. That increases my enjoyment. This is why it is called sampat, because they guard them jealously. If you tell such a person, give up your anger, they will say, no, I want it. If you tell me to give up my anger, then I'll be angry at you. If you ask them to give up any of these qualities, they are not ready. That's why it is called sampat. So with this introduction, let us look at the verse. Let us look at the verses and chant them and see where we. अथ षोडशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवान् सत्त्वसंशुद्धिः योगव्यवस्थितिः दानश्च यज्ञश्च ध्यायस्तप आर्जवम् हिंसा सत्यमक्रोधः त्यागशान्तिरपैशुन या भूतेष्वलोलुप्त्वम् माधवं तीरचापलम् तेजः क्षमा धृतिः शौचम् द्रोहो नातिमानिता सन्ति सम्पदं दैवीम् जातस्य भारत. So Bhagavan, without much ado, starts off on this topic of the Daivi and Asuri Sampat right from the beginning without needing to give an introduction. And chapters 1 to 3 are going to be describing Daivi Sampat, not chapters, verses 1 to 3 that we just chanted are going to be describing the godly qualities, godly disposition. Becoming disposition, virtuous disposition. And how can this chapter start off without an introduction to begin with? The answer for that is very easy because we are only reading one chapter here. But if we have read the whole Bhagavad Gita, if we have studied, we know that this introduction of Daivi and Asuri qualities were done at the end of the 9th chapter itself. Khasha mogha karma jnana vichetasaha asurim something something. Yeah. Kritim mohinim shrutaha. So they have resorted to Asuri qualities, moghashaha, useless fellows, with useless hopes, useless desires. Wanting to dominate somebody is a useless desire. What do you get out of it other than a headache? Because the other person is not going to let you dominate. Not a reason to get married. Okay, and so therefore, moghashaha, and I want this, I want that, all these things. And then what else? Mogha karmana. So the asha, the hopes and the desires are what? Deluded. And so because of the desires, one gets into the place of karma. The deluded desires lead to what kind of karma? Deluded karma, come on. When in doubt, go for the easiest answer. Do not overthink. Moghasha, mogha karmana. So that is in Sanskrit. And in English, deluded karma, deluded desires lead to deluded karma naturally. You can't have enlightened karma coming from deluded desires. Not a possibility. Mogha jnana. And this has a background of no viveka, wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge such as I have to get ahead in life. And the only way to get ahead in life is at the cost of somebody else. So let's see who I can take out and quickly so that I can get ahead. Maghajnana, vichetasaha, distracted, destroyed, whose heart is not in the right place. And these are the people with Asuri Vritti. This topic was already talked about. And the very next topic says, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajanti ananya manasaha bhutadim avyayam. So those who are Mahatmas, those who are great beings, Mahanatma Yasya, who are great beings, who are what? They are me, myself alone. They are just an embodiment, an incarnation of myself alone. These people, O Arjuna, they just spend their time in contemplation, in devotion, and in lending a helping hand to others whenever possible. So you see, those contrasts were already talked about and their repercussions as well. So therefore, Bhagavan feels no need to make a different or a separate introduction over here for the sake of the for the sake of beginning the chapter. So then he says, these are, let us look at the last words, the last two lines of chapter, the verse number 3. Bhavanti sampadam daivi. These aforementioned are what? Daivi sampat. So daivim sampadam bhavanti. And then abhijatasya. Abhijatasya means those who are born to these dispositions. And we'll have to have a discussion about that. Born means certain tendencies are there, predominant, which you can see even in children. Some children, even without any encouragement from the parents, are bullying in nature. They have to be held back. They have to be told, no, you have to share. The whole world does not belong to you. You have to share. They have to be told. And some children are very giving by nature. Even if they get hit in the head, they'll go and give again. So they have to be told, listen, you need to protect yourself a bit. Where do these tendencies come from? One doesn't know. In fact, the parents wonder, did somebody exchange the babies in the hospital? How come this is my child? I'm not like this at all. Even the Asuric parents will be surprised by having a Daivi child. Oh my God, what's wrong with this fellow? That's what happened to Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu had his whole kingdom chanting Om Hiranyaya Namaha, because he said, I am God. You have to chant my name. Well, your Vedanta also says I am God, but in a different way. In a much nicer way, not on the level of the Upadhi. And so here, this fellow says, I am God. And whoever does not chant my name, decapitate. Because before everybody was saying, oh, in the kingdom, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Even Hiranyakashipu was saying Om Namo Narayana. And suddenly what happened? God only knows what happened. Flip. East or west, I am the best. I am the monarch of all I survey. My life, there is none to condemn. Everything belongs to me. Om Hiranyaya Namaha. Come on, say, come on, say. And then he converted the whole kingdom at the pressuring them, death, and then complete disenfranchisement of their property and everything, threatening to throw them out of the kingdom, all kinds of things he did. Got the people to comply out of fear. Everybody complied. Everybody? No. There was one small holdout. Who was that? Prahlada, his own boy, his own child, 4 years old. Come on, baby, say Om Hiranyaya Namaha, Om Namo Narayanaya. He put him on his lap, gave him sweets, coaxed him, kissed him, hugged him, nothing worked. Got very angry, locked him in a closet, which can be very scary for people to lock in a cupboard for a small child, it's very scary. But still, even though he was locked in the cupboard, out of the cupboard was coming Om Namo Narayanaya. He was doing japa. Frustrated, he couldn't sleep. Hiranyakashipu could not Prahlada, he was fine. Hiranyakashipu could not sleep. It's like, what will, this is like saying, if I can't convert my own child, then I will not have a reputation left in the whole kingdom. Everybody who is now obeying will soon start to disobey. Why? Because my own child is not under my own spell. Something must come. Something must happen. Something must be changed. Ordered the boy to be dragged in front of him. Last chance, are you going to say Om Hiranyaya Namaha or not? No food, nothing. He was locked in a dungeon. Then he says, all right, where is this Narayana? At least I'm right in front of you. Remember, I gave you sweets. That gold chain you're wearing, I gave you that. I gave you this, I gave you that. I gave you all these things. This whole kingdom is going to be yours. But you have to say Om Hiranyaya Namaha. The boy says, no, thank you. Don't want any of these things. Removes the chain and gives it back. Don't want anything. Only want Narayana. Your Narayana is going to save you? Yes. Where is this Narayana? Everywhere. Is he in this pillar? Palace pillar. Palace means you have to have pillars. That's when it becomes a palace. Otherwise, it's just a house. You have to say, you have to have needless pillars everywhere. Like the one behind me. Here's a pillar. Pillars you can see. So, palace means you have to have pillars. Otherwise, it's not a palace. So he goes and kicks the pillar. And Hiranyakashipu had been working out. Okay, yeah. He had done this press, that press, and his quadriceps and muscles were very strong. Yeah. Hiranya Gym, it was called. Yeah. He had lifelong membership. He owned it. And so, thanks to his another Asuric personal trainer, there was brute force. Kicked the pillar. Pillar broke in half. Little smoke came out. We have to say these things for effect. Smoke may have just been dust. Out of that emerged a horrific looking creature. And Bhagavan's avatar. Bhagavan need not have taken the trouble to become half human and half lion. It was because of this stupid fellow's boons that he had to assume this avatar. I should not be killed by a man. I should not be killed by a woman. I should not be killed by an animal. I should not be killed either in the day or in the afternoon or at night. I should not be killed outside of the house. I should not be killed inside of the house. I should not be killed on the floor. I should not be killed in my bed. I should also not be killed hanging somewhere. If we are talking of Bhagavan, all of these, or even a good lawyer, can find a lot of loopholes in all these. Lawyer can easily say, yes, not in the morning, not in the afternoon, not in the night. Aha, evening. Fantastic. That troublesome twilight time. Then what else? Then not inside the house, not outside the house. Well, there's always the threshold. Yes. Not on the floor, not in the bed. Here is my lap. Come here. Not by a man, not by an animal, half and half. New meaning of half and half. Yes. No problem. Oh, not by any weapons. Yes, I just, Lord Narasimha went for a mani. I told we had to do the job. What is mani? Mani with which he cured Hiranyakashipu of his ego. Right. So Hiranyakashipu himself was surprised. How can this child be so sattvic? Look at me. The most demonic being there is. And then how can it be? So abhijatasya means there are certain dispositions one carries from previous karmic residues are there. Even if you have 2 or 3 children, each one will be separate from the other. And you always wonder. And of course, don't think you're the only one. Children are also wondering, are these my real parents? They're not like me at all. Maybe I'm adopted and they are not telling me. Doubt comes. So, abhijatasya. These are the above mentioned Daivi Sampat Bharata. Bharata means the offspring of the Bharata family. Oh Bharata, oh Bharata, these are the guna. Starts with abhayam. Very important. Abhayam means absence of fear, no fear. Two kinds of abhayams are talked about in the Shastra. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, Bhayam pratistham vindate, gets absolutely established in the absolute, which is a source of absolute fearlessness. That is abhaya, which is the prasada of Atma Vidya. Studying the truth of oneself gives the prasada of no fear ever. That is not what we are talking about, because that means you have to get enlightened in a hurry. So now, if that's not what we are talking about, we can enjoy the rest of the chapter. Here we are talking of a relative abhaya, relative absence of fear. And what is this relative absence of fear? In the sense of having a certain security centered on self. Not always puk, 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 puk. Frightened. Free, they call it free floating anxiety. But really, it's a misnomer. It's neither free because one has already paid for it, and then it's not floating either because it is attached to something or the other. But when what they mean by free floating anxiety is that I cannot tell the reason. I don't know the reason. But just because one doesn't know the reason, that doesn't mean it's not there. That is the anxiety. So if one is always afraid of all kinds of things all the time has come to just sit and go a little further and ask the question of what am I afraid? Oh, no answer comes, I've already done that. Then this time you give the answer, even if it is true or doesn't matter if it's not true. Let us say most people are afraid of death. It's not afraid of death. Very few can say, I'm not afraid of death. That is wonderful if you're not afraid of death. But most of the people are afraid of death. If death is too strong a word, endings. I don't want this relationship to end. I don't want this particular thing to end. I want life to come to an end. Endings are frightening. And so that is why, along with the fear of death, fear of endings, there is anxiety. And at this time, even if one has been studying Vedanta, to recall the verses of the Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter, what is that, Adahyam, Ashlosyam, all these things. Shoshyam, Adahyam, Akledyam, all these things. This I is not subject to death, is of no use. Why? Because the fear has taken over. In fact, you cannot say you have fear. Fear has you. Fear has taken over. Fear has taken over, then there's only one thing to do, because Vedanta is not going to work in the moment. In the moment, you cannot tell yourself that, oh, all is fine because I'm not the body, because precisely at that time you're convinced you're the body. What to do? Therefore, we can say, yes, there is a fear of ending, there is a fear of death. Yes, it is. But right now, I'm alive. Acknowledge and celebrate that as well. No, the future doesn't matter. Come back. Future is in the future. Right now, I'm not dying. Right now, I'm okay. Right now, I'm alive. Right now, can be celebrated. In fact, if we just woke up every day thinking this, then the fear of endings and death will go away. Every day you wake up. First you stretch, you look, open your eyes, and see if the room looks familiar. Aha, yes, here's the door, here's the window, here's the cupboard, here's the closet. I recognize this as the room I have slept in yesterday, the day before, wherever. Even if you're traveling, you say, okay, this is the room. If the room looks familiar, celebrate. That means what? I've not gone to an unfamiliar place. Happy to be here. So that means what? One more day I have. Beyond that, I cannot think. So just plan for that day. What do you want to do? Do you want to spend your time picking up a fight? Do you want to spend your time nursing a grudge and giving it miracle grow? Isn't that what it's called? What is this? Fertilizer, yes. You fertilize the resentment. Ta-da! It grows. It takes over the whole yard. Some plants are very aggressive. They just take over. They are called creepers many times because they creep and they are creepy. Yeah. Creepy creepers. So you keep nourishing the wrong things, then that will only grow. So you make a sankalpa upon waking up. Hello, I'm alive for today. Fantastic. Let me have fun. Let me be the best I can because I have to be the best all the time means it's overwhelming. I don't want to be good all the time. I want to have few days when I can be bad. Tell yourself I'll be bad tomorrow. Today what I'm going to do? Just be the best I can. Let me be loving because it's only for one day I have to be loving. Let me be giving. When? Only for today I have to be giving. Let me be loving, giving. And then when I'm itching for a fight, let me just go into japa. Let me go inward instead. Or take care of it in other ways. Go have some ice cream. Chill out, chillax. Just be easy. This is exactly how to deal with bhaya. And then a little less catching is the fear of the future. Oh, what will happen? Where will the money come from? Where has it come from all this time? Was it there or not? Yeah. No, it wasn't there. At least you are standing here to tell me, no, it wasn't there. So that means you had food, correct? Because without food, you won't be able to talk. Without food, you won't be able to be standing here. So the fact that you're witnessing that it wasn't there means it was there. To some extent, it was there. No, but not as much as I wanted. Well, if you have dreams of being a corporate king, no, that's between you and Bhagavan. Right. Or rather, I should say, you and Bhagavan in the form of your own prarabdha. Your karma is there. No, I'm afraid of the future. How much money is enough? Tell me. And in fact, what is this money? It has to be protected from itself. What kind of money is it? What kind of a source of security it is that it has to be protected from itself because of inflation? This is ridiculous. And that I use for my own security. So obviously, there is a vision adjustment needing to take place. We have to talk to ourselves like this in spare time when we are by ourselves. We have to be able to share this even with our significant others, with our other people in our lives who are beloved, who are significant, who are part of the family, who are part of the friend circle. You have to be able to share these things. And so abhaya means cheerfulness. Really, that's what it translates, not having a mopey, long face. And then what? I'm very frightened. Why are you frightened? I asked somebody. Is everything okay? Yeah, everything is okay. Your parents, how are they doing? They're great. Fantastic. How is your spouse? Fantastic. How is your children? How are your children? Wonderful. Then what's the problem? How is your job? No problem. Then what is the problem? Worried because there are no problems. Anxiety because there are no problems. If there are no problems, that means what? I said, why is it a problem? It's a problem because if there is no problem in my life, I have observed that there will be a problem soon. How can everything be so rosy? So something must be, how can everything be so cozy? How can everything be so rosy? Something is off. Something is suspicious here. Let something bad happen. So I wish it for myself. I make it happen. If it doesn't happen, I make it happen. I make sure I get in my own way. It is called self-sabotage. Make sure I create a drama. Instead of simply thanking Rama, I go and create drama. Everybody is a drama king and a drama queen. This is what happens. You create the drama and then you say, ha, see, I told you it will happen and it happened. This is what. So this whole future fear, that also you can gently confront. So sometimes the fear of the future, fear of death, everything coalesces together. Good thing about death, you have to undergo it only once. You don't have to keep doing it, thank God. When it comes, maybe you'll be ready. Maybe we'll all be ready. That's the whole beauty of Vedanta Shastra. And what is death coming to anyway? What is born is going to die. I, who is never born, cannot die. That when I'm ready, I can assimilate. This is Abhaya. Abhaya is the first quality of godliness, Ishwaratvam, and Daivi Sampat needing to be adopted. Sattva Samshuddhi, second one. Sattva Samshuddhi means the Antahkarana Shuddhi, the inner instrument, mind, heart, buddhi, ahankara, chittam, the faculty of feeling, emotions, etc., have to be purified of raga and dvesha. Strong prejudices, preferences, likes, dislikes, whatever you call. As long as these are there in the heart, no progress, no emotional growth, no spiritual maturity can take place. One is a perma child, permanently a child. What does the child do? It wants something, it snatches from somebody else, and it does whatever it wants, it cries, it laughs, it has no filters. That's why a child is not ready for Vedanta. You try to sit a 4-year-old other than Prahlada, okay? That he was an anomaly. But you try to sit a 4-year-old and say, Tatvamasi, here is Mahavakya. Child will not be interested. Why? Because there is no inner maturity. That's appropriated for. But at 34, 44, 54, 64, 74, 84, 94, if the inner being, my inner disposition is still what? 4, then that, to the inner 4-year-old, this is addressed. This is addressed to the adult to be able to take care of that inner 4-year-old that knows nothing other than to have a tantrum, scream, yell, project, transfer all my hurts onto somebody else. And that somebody has not done nothing to deserve it. But one does that constantly. So therefore, this is why Sattva Samshuddhi. allowing the raga dveshas to drop, to grow out of. It is not about suppressing, to grow out of. And karma yoga is a very important antidote. Karma yoga, where you work without getting caught up in the karma phala, in the results of action. The results of action are seen as prasada. What is prasada? That is that which has come from Bhagavan is prasada. So whatever comes, I learn to cheerfully accept. Cheerfully I learn to accept. Challenging situations will come. Why? Because of my own karma. Bhagavan cannot be there to blame. My own karma. Challenging situations will come. Fear may come. Trying difficulties will come. I learn to face it cheerfully as a result of karma yoga. In the process, because karma yoga is an act of worship. So I worship Bhagavan through my work, through my duty done towards the family, done towards society, done towards the country, done towards the world. And then I grow. I accept whatever comes without questioning it. This is how to get over the raga and the dvesha. Abhayam sattva samshuddhihi. Then jnana yoga vyavasthitihi. Two meanings. One is sattva samshuddhi. Then another one is jnana yoga vyavasthitihi. To cultivate a disposition which is filled with discrimination. First meaning, discrimination. I don't jump into conclusions, even though that's what one wants to. One wants to leap into conclusions. Anything happens, one immediately wants to leap into what kind of conclusions? The worst conclusions possible. You meet somebody in the grocery store. You say hi. They do not say hi back. You thought they were your friend. Immediately you come to lots of conclusions. See, should have never trusted this one. Should have known that they were just a fair weather friend. And fair weather friend means right now you're in doubt whether they are a friend or not. That's right, fair weather friend. Who is this person? How could they behave with me like this? Look at what I have done for them, for their children, for their grandchildren, and if necessary, their great-grandchildren also. But they don't have great-grandchildren. Well, I would have done if they hadn't behaved like this. Look at all the things. And then this person doesn't have even the slightest courtesy of just waving back, of saying hello. I know this other person that we both mutually know must have been behind this. They have gone and poisoned my impression with them. See, now the third person is involved. Where is the third person invited in your head? Where is the second person's reaction? Again processed in the head. Am I such a bad friend? Now the fourth person is involved. Am I so bad? Am I so mean? Am I so terrible? And then, because of nobody else's fault, you have a terrible day, cold day. Then the heart doesn't listen. You can't sit quiet. Then, and this person you have known for so long and loved them, pick up the phone in anger, because after the sorrow, anger comes. Okay. So sometimes anger precedes grief, sometimes it succeeds grief. Anger comes. Well, pick up the phone and call them and say, how could you do this? Why did you ignore me in the grocery store? And they say, you were at the grocery store? What happened to you? I don't have proper glasses. I have to change my glasses, or I left my glasses at home. I didn't know you wore glasses exactly. That's what I'm trying to upkeep that impression. That I don't wear glasses. then I don't need glasses. Had that anything to do with you? Think it. This is so. How could we have turned around this? Okay, maybe he or she did not see me. Maybe he or she was busy with something else. Maybe they saw me, their mind was elsewhere. Do not leap into the worst conclusions until one has understood the circumstances. And if you were that eager, you could have gone closer to them. They would have definitely seen you. No, I was already hurt. Why will I go closer? This is the problem. Because one assumed the worst. Why will I go closer to him or to her? They ignored me. They dissed me. They did not disrespect you. Just did not see you. Why? Because of their own problems of not wanting to be seen as a person wearing glasses. That's all that happened here. Very understandable now. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. Next one we'll see after a short break. Shanti Hari. This is just a stretch and water break. There might be some things there, but don't start sit and eat them now because then nobody will come back. Save for lunch, okay? Huh? Okay.